What is going on, tribe, and welcome back to another wonderful week with your bald-headed boy, Scribble. That is right, today is Monday, which means only one thing. Galactically challenged. So let's take a look at today's Galactic challenge. We are on Bespin going up against Iden and her Imperial Trooper friends. Now I can't red box this one because my Tuskens simply aren't up to snuff. Very sorry about that, but if you've got Relic Tuskens, probably around Relic 5 across the board, I imagine it won't be too difficult for you. The approach is pretty standard across the board, so what I will show you is a low tier way of getting this done so that you can get all of your Ommies, get that gold chest. If you've got higher Relic Tuskens, take the same approach and apply it to the top tier and you should be absolutely fine. So, global modifier is Decadence. At the start of battle, all characters have their accuracy reduced by 15%, and we gain a stack of collected wealth whenever we damage an enemy. This increases our crit chance and crit damage by 10% to a maximum of 100%. We've got the wonderful Tusken Ambush ability, which gives us a whole bunch of max health and defense and stacking offense and defense and all this good business. It basically revolves around generating boatloads of momentum. The enemy has got Imperial Armor, which means they've got loads of health and protection, and they are also always going to revive at least once. Iden can also put on additional revives, and they do stagger and vulnerable, which can't be resisted. It's all really, really annoying, basically. So what are the feats then? Well, we need to win with a full team of Tuskens, no problem. We need to win with one light side, one dark side, no problem. And we need to win using no more than 3 special abilities. So what I'd recommend is going in with your Tuskens at like tier 6. This is the way I've done it. I've done it overkill here, to be honest. But I'm going to show this at tier 6. Now, the approach with the Tuskens is going to be exactly the same as what you would take in for the top tier. So let's just go to Tuskens. Mine right now, as you can see, are just not up to business. We've got a 6-star Tusken Chieftain, double Zeta on the Tusken Warrior, gear 9, 3 stars, and the rest are just kind of trash, to be honest. I mean, Relic 4 and 5 as per the Relic requirements for Jabba the Hutt, and I want to say Lord Vader, but otherwise the rest of my Tuskens are just not very good. Fortunately, the modifier for Tuskens is phenomenal because it just lets us survive. So what you can do is you can try and restart on Iden so that she doesn't start with an AoE. There is a very slim chance that she actually starts with a basic, which is quite nice to have. There is also a chance that she just simply misses your characters. So if you really want to roll the RNG dice, be my guest. I would rather save myself the stress and the hassle and just settle for the gold box. Okay, what you want to do is focus down any character that has that ambushed ability applied to them. Essentially, you can ignore taunt to kill these, but more importantly, when we hit someone with ambush, we are actually getting momentum across the board, which is raising our offense and our defense and our something else, which is really rather nice. So, no matter what, you just want to ignore everything apart from whoever has ambushed. Okay, ambushed is the jobby here. Now I'm just going to go ahead and use this second special from Urururu to pass a bunch of TM, and I'm going to tap Death Trooper just once. That means when we kill this Snow Trooper here, Death Trooper should technically be the person that gets ambushed next. And I don't like Death Trooper because he can put a death mark in days and all this nonsense. So I like to try and target him first. It's now gone over to Maggie. No, that's okay. Obviously, they always revive at least once, guys. You can't prevent that. You just have to roll with it. But as you can see, at this difficulty level, it really isn't so much of an issue. The enemy team doesn't really get a chance to do much of anything. Let's just keep on slapping away at Magma here. And yeah, let's get the big old hit. Now, I'm not using the second special from Tusken Warrior, and that's for very good reason. I want to maintain as much as possible my stacks of momentum, because that gives me the survivability. This only really applies when you're trying to push up at the higher tiers, and the basic from Tusken Warrior will also double tap, which is super, super useful. Death Trooper is going to be last. And then we've just got Shore Trooper. Now, when it's down to just Shore Trooper and Iden, it really shouldn't be too much of a bother. Let's just keep on using this event special, not the event special ability, the middle special when it's available with Warrior, and a basic otherwise. Every time we are generating momentum, we're gaining boatloads of stats, so it's super, super useful. Obviously, the game has a hard time calculating all of the momentum and all of the stats that we're gaining and putting, you know, damage over times on the enemy and all this sort of business. So 175,000 crit there from our Tusken Raider. Let's go ahead and keep using special abilities here while we can. I'm going to build up that momentum. That first ability from Tusken Warrior will give 10 momentum to the entire team, which is obviously a lot of bonus stats for us. And it also keeps us survivable at the same time. So here we go. Let's just lay into Iden now. She's getting absolutely shreked. And there we have it. That's what I would do. If I could do it at top tier, I can. I mean, I got close a couple of times, but honestly, I didn't want to try and make a video and purport it to be something that is actually achievable. It's just an RNG mess, to be honest. If you want to try and, you know, get a bunch of evades and you want to try and get a basic from Iden at the start. So let's talk about the rest of the abilities now. What do we need to do? We need to win with one light side, one dark side character surviving, and we need to win using no more than 3 special abilities. Now, this one can be a little bit tricky. You don't even have to go in at the top tier, but I'm going to show it at the top tier, just for those of you that want to try this at home. So I would advise going in with Traya and Malak. That's kind of like your core, almost, the core team that you want to be using. Apart from that, we want to try and have Nihilus in there. Nihilus is obviously going to be giving us lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff like, you know, Annihilates, which is nice. Now, the last 2 slots are really up to you. I'm actually going to throw in Hermit Yoda. The reason I'm throwing in Hermit Yoda is he starts stealth, so you can't kill him, and he can constantly re-stealth himself, and he is he's unable to be hit when he's stealth. He's got a 100% evasion chance when he's stealth, so it makes it very easy for you to survive the battle with him still alive. Now, the last slot is really up to you. You can go in with a couple of characters. You can either go in with someone like Gideon to really reduce the enemy's damage, or you can go in someone like Han Solo to shoot Iden at the start and hopefully get that ball rolling, or you can throw in someone like Wat Tambor, for example, to put out some tech. Now, personally, I think what I'm going to do is throw in Gideon. Gideon for survivability, mainly. Alright, so here we go. Now, this is a really good start, because they've gone right in for Malak, and Malak has also did have his thingy ability there. Vulnerable, which means he's guaranteed to be crit, which is going to fear the entire enemy team. So obviously, you only want to be using basics right now. Only want to be using basics. Right, this is the only instance where I say don't use basics. You want to start off this first one with a life drain, just so that you can loop around to the first Annihilate very quickly, okay? Everybody should have Demoralized, which guarantees that we are going to be increasing their cooldowns, decreasing our cooldowns for... So in a situation like this, for Annihilate, in a situation like this, when Malak is not taunting, you don't want to trigger a counterattack because you'll likely lose someone like Gideon. So hit someone who is dazed. Traya can daze on her basic. So we're just going to basic here from Hermit Yoda. Alright, let's see. I do actually want to trigger a counterattack from Malak, so we're going to hit someone who isn't dazed. Hopefully they counterattack, hopefully they crit. They get dazed. Right, in a situation like this, we want to try and spread that fear. So hit whoever's got the most turn meter. Malak is taunting, so they should counterattack because they've got a 100% counterattack chance. Hopefully they crit. Hopefully then they'll get feared. Well, they should get feared if they crit. There we go. And that's kind of the whole shtick. That's the whole setup. You want to try and replicate that as many times as possible. Try and get everybody feared all the time. Let's see. We just want to try and get people counterattacking here, hitting Malak, so that Malak maintains taunt and he spreads that fear. Come on, hit me. Beautiful. Big AoE coming out here. We don't like Iden. So the idea is we want to try and build up to that first Annihilate. And with that first Annihilate, we want to get rid of Iden. Normally, she would just revive, but you cannot revive from Annihilate. So that is our aim right now. Whenever we get the opportunity, we just want to use basics, apart from when Nihilus gets his first Annihilate. We'll use that to get rid of Iden. So, get rid of Iden here. Boom. That's 2 specials used. We have 1 more available, and of course we lost Hermit Yoda. Now, I'm going to keep playing this. But essentially, you play it exactly the same. You just want to try and make sure that Hermit Yoda stays alive for the end of it. It certainly can happen, but it didn't happen this time. So I'm just going to target people who are dazed right now when I get that chance. Because, oh, actually, Malak is taunting again now, so we can quite happily hit people because he's taunting, so you get counterattack, and we'll just keep that up. Beautiful. Get rid of that. So what I'm trying to do here is I want to try and get us back around to another Annihilate, and I want us to get rid of Death Trooper. I imagine would be the next priority target. So again, we're no longer taunting. with Malik. Now we are. We've lost our Gideon there, but it should be okay. Should be fine. Alright, so again, we'll quite happily trigger a counterattack here because Malik is taunting. Let's just keep on working on that Death Trooper. Yeah, let's just hit the Death Trooper right now, I think. Beautiful, beautiful. Smashing, smashing. Yeah, we're still taunting, so let's keep on focusing on Death Trooper. Keep that focus up. Basic him. He's got health down at the moment. Okay, we've still got another 4 turns before we get round to another Annihilate. This is the only issue with this team, is it takes a little bit of time. But you should definitely be able to get the no less than 3 specials. No more than 3 specials, sorry, with this. Oh, I didn't realise we weren't taunting there. So he's dazed currently. Let's go ahead and hit Shore Trooper over here to trigger the counterattack. Lovely. There is the daze once again. Alright, 2 more turns for Annihilate. Hopefully, I was going to say hopefully we don't lose Treya, but we did indeed lose Treya. Now we don't want Death Trooper to take another turn, realistically speaking, because I don't want him whipping out the old death mark onto Nihilus. So we'll kill Death Trooper, and now it's just auto basic. That's the only thing we're allowed to be using. So let's go ahead and just put it on auto basic and see how we get on. It should be okay because Nihilus should have generated quite a lot of maximum health. Whenever they're counterattacking, Treya's leadership is still coming into play, so they're still going to be slowly killing themselves with counterattacks essentially, which is nice. As you can see, there we go. Hit me. Good. Come on, counterattack me. Beautiful. You stay away from my Nihilus. He should be chunky enough to survive all of these attacks, but you just never know. You just never know. I've not got any special modding on these people. Malik is modded like normal. Nihilus is modded like normal. My Malik is Relic 9. Nihilus is Relic 3, I believe. So we should be fine from here. We just have to kill everybody twice using only basics. That means we've done it with 3 specials. Hopefully you should be able to have your Hermit Yoda alive. If you can't, I'd recommend going in with the same team again and just using all of the specials. Because you'll definitely stay alive that way, because Hermit Yoda can place Master's Training, which will stealth him and make your allies more survivable. So you might have to do 3 battles, but ultimately it should be okay. Alright, good business. Okay, so if you have got all of the toys, I'd recommend using Lord Vader for not using more than 3 specials. The only specials that we're going to use is our ultimate. We'll use our ultimate 3 times. That's going to ramp up our mastery. Also, whilst Lord Vader is in ultimate, he is able to permanently kill enemies. So I'm using Reva, the Inquisitorius. Yes, I know this isn't available to everybody. This is for just those top-end players that don't really want to think about how they do this. So I'm just immediately going in, hitting auto basic. We're just waiting until we get that ultimate meter all built up. This team is pretty survivable, pretty tanky. We've got double tanks rocking on here. So we should be totally fine. In the meantime, you could probably swap out one of the tanks and throw in Maul if you'd rather. I think that would also work very well. The fact that the enemy is constantly also counter-attacking means we'll build our ult that just a little bit quicker. Now, the only problem is, of course, that we only have a limited amount of specials that we're allowed to use, which is 3, but we'll have to make do. There we go. So next turn, Lord Vader can go into ultimate, and we should be able to ramp up some of our mastery. Now, the more relic levels you have on the team, the better off you're going to be, obviously, because Lord Vader absorbs mastery from his allies based on their relic level. So my Reva, for example, is relic 9, which means that's a lot of mastery that we're absorbing there. But should do absolutely fine, I imagine, at sort of the relic 7 region as well. So we just need to wait for that taunt to come off Shore Trooper so that we can start focusing on other people, preferably Iden, even though it will probably take a couple of ults before we sort of build up to that point where we're dealing really, really lots of damage. Really, really, really lots of damage is the correct term to use, I believe. So hurry up, Shore Trooper, stop taunting. Nobody likes you. The dots are also kind of helping, I suppose, because that is doing percentile health damage. Lovely. Shore Trooper is just taunting forever, apparently. Taunting forever. Forever taunting and taunting forever. Hurry up now. This will take a little bit of time, unfortunately, but there's not a heck of a lot we can really do about that. Yeah, man. Let's be having you. Let's be having you. Slowly, slowly. I think I'll speed this up for you guys at home. Oh, it looks like Shore Trooper is no longer taunting. I'm going to use this opportunity to try and target down Iden for a change. Shelley will probably taunt in a second again anyway, but hey-ho. We're also out of ultimate on Lord Vader now. Here's that retaunt. So that's actually a good thing. It's a good thing we're out of ultimate because it means we'll have the opportunity to get back into ultimate again in a couple of turns, which means more mastery, which means we do more damage, and eventually the enemy will die. As you can see, we're still surviving pretty well, I'd say, on the whole. Reva hasn't even lost 1 life yet, so hopefully next turn Lord Vader gets his turn. We should be at another ultimate. I'm just basic here. Not quite. Not quite. Next time, Lord Vader. There we go. Come on. Let Lord Vader take a turn, please. There we go. Another ultimate there. Back into basic. We should start dealing some pretty good damage now. Shore Trooper has stopped taunting, so I'm going to go over to Iden. Reva has died. Ooh, gosh, we nearly one-tapped Iden there. Come on. Get me another attack with Lord Vader. Ooh, so close. If Iden dies... Oh, she just recovered a bunch of health on that basic. She must have crazy amounts of health steal. But hey-ho, what can you do about it? There we go. Iden's gone. Life becomes a lot easier now. Without Iden in the mix, they don't have all their revives, they don't have all their buffs, they don't have half of the nice stuff that they normally do have. So it should be absolutely piece of cake from here on out. Now, we've used ultimate twice. We could use ultimate a third time coming up here in a second, but I don't think it really matters, so I'm just going to leave it on auto basic. Yep, thankfully these timers are 15 minutes and not the standard 5 minutes, because if it wasn't 15 and it was only 5, we would be in a spot of bother. And there goes Maggie eventually. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's relatively, brainless. You just go with Lord Vader and wait for the couple of ults. Obviously, if you don't have that, I highly recommend using the Treya team that we found out earlier in the video. So thank you all very much, and a very special thank you out to my patrons. Thank you for your continued support. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. Make sure you guys like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. And until the very next video, peace out, and may the Force be with you.